The town wasn't on his map. Leo was a cartographer by trade, a man who believed in the elegant certainty of longitude and latitude. His job was to chart the forgotten corners of the country for a new survey, and his car had died on a nameless, unpaved road swallowed by ancient, brooding pines. A hand-painted sign, weathered to the color of bone, was the only thing that had saved him from a night in the wilderness. It read, Hellow Creek. The town was a study in stillness. The clapboard houses sagged under the weight of a perpetual gray sky. No cars lined the single muddy street. No children's laughter echoed from the overgrown yards. The only sound was the faint, rhythmic creak of a tavern sign swinging in a breeze Leo couldn't feel. He found lodging at the town's only inn, run by a woman named Elspeth, whose smile was as fixed and placid as a doll's.
Just for the night, mechanic in the morning.
Silas will see to it. He's very good at fixing things that are broken. You rest now, you look frayed.
The word hung in the air, oddly specific. His room was clean but profoundly quiet. The silence in Hellow Creek wasn't just an absence of noise, it was a presence, thick and heavy like water. That night, as he drifted to sleep, he heard it for the first time. A faint, tinny sound like a child's music box playing a single off-key melody. He assumed it was the old building settling. The next day, Silas, a man with eyes the color of faded denim and hands like gnarled oak, promised the car would be fixed by evening. Leo decided to explore. He walked the length of the town, his boots making obscene sucking sounds in the mud. The few people he saw nodded slowly, their gazes lingering a moment too long. They all had the same placid, vacant look as Elspeth. He found himself near an old, abandoned schoolhouse. The windows were boarded up, but from a crack in one of the rotting planks he saw movement. He pressed his eye to the splintered wood. Inside, in the dusty, sun-starved gloom, a little girl in a pinafore was skipping rope. Thump, 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 thump. But there was no sound. Her movements were jerky, unnatural, like a film reel catching and skipping. As he watched, her form flickered, wavered, and then dissolved into motes of dust, leaving the room empty once more. Leo stumbled back, his heart a frantic drum against his ribs. He sprinted back to the inn, bursting through the door. Elspeth was wiping the same spot on the counter she'd been wiping that morning.
The schoolhouse, I saw a girl.
Oh, that's just an echo. They get stronger when we have visitors. The town gets excited.
An echo?
Hellow Creek likes to remember. It holds on to things, a happy memory, a sad one, a person. Sometimes the memories play again.
Over the next few days, Silas always had a new excuse for the car. A missing part, a tricky wire. And Leo saw more echoes. A man tipping his hat on a corner that wasn't there. The faint sound of a blacksmith's hammer. A woman weeping in an empty house, her form as translucent as smoke. They were moments, trapped in amber, replaying for an audience of one. The horror wasn't in their appearance, but in their repetition. The same man, the same hat, the same time every day. The same notes from the music box every night. The town was a broken record, and Leo was the needle, dragging the same dead sounds from its grooves. He started to notice something else. When he looked in his shaving mirror, his reflection would sometimes lag a fraction of a second behind his movements. Once, he turned away from the mirror, and in the silvered glass, he saw his reflection stay, watching him go before it vanished. He was fraying. The word came back to him. The terror finally crystallized on the 5th day. He was looking through his cartography notes when he saw a new page he didn't remember drawing. It was a perfect hand-drawn map of Hellow Creek. His own precise, meticulous script detailed every sagging porch, every crooked fence, every silent house. And at the bottom, a note, "My route, 10:15 a.m. walk." He had taken that exact walk that very morning. The town wasn't just replaying its old memories. It was learning his. He had to leave. Now. He didn't bother with his car or his bags. He just ran. Down the muddy street, past the vacant-eyed townsfolk who watched him with their placid smiles. He plunged into the oppressive pine forest, the tree line that was supposed to lead back to the real world. He ran for what felt like hours, branches whipping his face, his lungs burning, but the trees were unchanging. The path seemed to loop. A sense of dreadful familiarity washed over him. He burst through a final line of trees and stumbled to his knees, gasping. He was standing at the edge of town, right in front of the weathered, bone-white sign that read, Hellow Creek. He hadn't left at all. Defeated, he trudged back to the inn. Elspeth was there, wiping the counter.
You're back. Silas has your car ready.
Hope, desperate and stupid, flared in Leo's chest. He ran to the garage. The car was there, hood down, looking cleaner than it had in years. He jumped in, turned the key, and the engine roared to life. He didn't question it. He slammed the car into reverse and peeled out of the garage, spraying mud across the street. He sped past the inn, past the schoolhouse, past the sign. The pines blurred into a solid green wall on either side of him. Freedom. He was almost laughing, tears of relief streaming down his face. Then, up ahead, he saw a figure standing in the middle of the road. A man. Leo slammed on the brakes, the car skidding to a halt just inches from him. The man was holding a heavy pack. His clothes were torn, and his face was pale with exhaustion and fear. He looked frayed. It was himself. The man, the Echo, stared at him with wide, terrified eyes, the same eyes Leo knew were in his own head. Then, the Echo turned and ran, plunging into the oppressive pine forest. Leo sat in his car, the engine humming. He watched the spot where he had vanished into the trees. He understood now. The town hadn't just learned his memories. It had recorded them, preserved them. It had made a copy. And the copy was now running in a loop, forever trying to escape. He looked at his hands on the steering wheel. They felt distant, solid but not quite his own. He looked toward the town, Hellow Creek. It didn't feel threatening anymore. It felt quiet, peaceful. He turned the car off. The sudden silence was a comfort. He got out of the car, leaving the keys in the ignition, and began the slow walk back to the inn. Elspeth would be waiting. The town liked to remember,